evening, fans, and welcome to the United Center. This is a big one. Minnesota is red hot. Chicago is red hot. Chicago's won 4 of 5, and I believe Minnesota has won 3 straight. So you got 2 of the hottest teams in the league colliding here on this sheet of ice in Chicago. Looking at Minnesota, the starting goaltender is different. The forward line is the same though. Jonas Korpisalo has the start in the net. Meanwhile, for Chicago, forward line again is the same, but making his first start as a Railer is Jacob Markstrom. He was traded from Montreal to Chicago for Arvid Soderblom and a second rounder about a week or so ago, I want to say it was. So, his first start as a Railer is a big deal. We'll see how he does after Matt Murray started 4 consecutive games. And we'll see how Korpisalo does on the other side. The last time these two teams faced off was a classic 7-6 with Soderblom and Romanov in the net. But neither team had really found their current strides. So here we go. One of the most anticipated matchups of the second half is underway, and Bongiovanni takes the first shot of the game. Rebound, missed the net. I think that proves this is going to be a fast one tonight. It's left for Norris, back to Pinelli. He'll fire on, and a save by Jonas Korpisalo. So both goaltenders tested early, but both goaltenders equal to the task. Just 15 seconds into the first period. It goes in behind the net to Pinelli. Or to Cizikas, excuse me. Cizikas rings it around to Francesco Pinelli. He'll skate it behind the net and leave it for Cizikas. He'll then go back across ice to Pinelli, a shot and a save. So I thought we would see a bit of a faster game, but Chicago just had about a 15-second possession there. And what do you know? The puck went out of bounds. The face-off one of the Lumberjacks. Moore drops it back. Tippett will fire on, miss the net. Now play up to Norris. Now Pinelli. Over to Cizikas. He'll control it. Cizikas will fire on, sitting on the line. Korpisalo kept it out. Now Bongiovanni in a save made by Markstrom. My goodness, that one squeaked through the 5-hole of Korpisalo, but it did not cross the line. And he kicked it out of there, so we remain scoreless here in the early going. Tippett will send it across. Bongiovanni puts it on the line. Lumberjacks win the puck. It's tapped to Tippett. He'll fire on, a save by Markstrom. He'll handle it and give it out to Cizikas, but the puck wound up on the line. It's won by the Railers. Cizikas has it, and he'll drop it back to his goalie. And it's played up, and they're saying on the line it's won by the Railers. Across Pinelli, fires, save. Finally, another shot. Bongiovanni, stop. Rebound blocked. And now in behind the net, Bongiovanni is there. Minnesota will take a second to reset structurally. And now here we go. It's played up to Moore. Now to Tippett, fires, save, again by Markstrom. Neither team really controlling the pace. It's kind of been back and forth here in the early going. Face-off one to the Lumberjacks, who are wearing white today, birch white. Another save by Markstrom. Pinelli goes across Cizikas, plays it up Norris, back to Cizikas. Having a little trouble with it, now firing, he missed in tight. And now they threw it away. Pass, Cizikas shoots, save. And now the Railers get the rebound. They tried to go to the middle. It bounces away. Tippett gives it to Moore. Moore makes a move, fires on, a save again. Shots are 7-4 Minnesota, 2 minutes into the period. Pinelli over to Cizikas. He plays the bouncing puck but gives it away. And a shot, Moore, and a save by Markstrom. But then he threw it away, across. And the net's off. Moore will try again, a save. Then while the net's off, no shots can happen, but we're allowed to reset it and keep the clock running. Cizikas back to the middle. He'll give it to Norris. He'll fire on, and Korpisalo got a piece. Last time it was a track meet. This time it feels like a normal PHLL hockey game. A little less than halfway through the first, we're still scoreless. Missed pass. Another missed pass. Now this time they connect with Moore and a shot, another save. Shots are 10-5 Minnesota. Great pass to Josh Norris. Makes a move. That one took a deflection and went in the corner. Tippett played it away. Pass to Pinelli and a save. They get the rebound and it's rung around to the near side to Cizikas. It ends up on the line. It's won by the Lumberjacks. Played back to Tippett and a shot save. Got the rebound and hit the post. They'll play it up. It's another turnover. Pinelli to Norris. He'll drop it back. Pinelli. It's another turnover. To the middle. Moore will try. He missed the net. And now here's Pinelli. He looks and fires, and he duffed it. In the corner, Tippett. Plays it up ahead, it hit off more. Bongiovanni on the near side. They pass it around a bit more. Bongiovanni has it, fires, missed the net. Cizikas plays it up to Norris. Norris will make a move and fire on another save by Korpisalo. Pinelli will try to ring it around, but it goes right back into his corner. Pinelli will now swing it up to Norris. Great pass. Norris fires a save. Puck bouncing around. Now Moore will hit the post. Rebound to save by Markstrom. Markstrom has it. Drops it back. Cizikas fires. Stopped again. It had been a bit of time since we had a stoppage. So that was nice hockey. That was fun. But we still have no goals on the board. The fact that we still have nothing up there after it was 7-6 the first time between these two is a little disconcerting. Just under a minute and a half to go. They'll send it across. Took a deflection. Norris plays it back to Cizikas. Norris. Cizikas. He'll fire on a save. Tippett to Moore. Sends it back to Wyatt Bongiovanni. Now behind it's a turnover. And it's still in the Chicago zone. Cizikas placed it on the line. It winds up with Minnesota. Moore. Bongiovanni missed. And now it's played up ahead, Pinelli. To the middle, Norris. Pinelli fires on another save. Sent across. Tippett. Back to Bongiovanni. He fires on a save. Bounces back in the net. It's not a goal. So, again, both sides generating chances, but just not getting the proper shots. The face-off won by the Lumberjacks. Bongiovanni to the middle, Moore. He finds Tippett. He fires on and a big block by Norris. Rebound, another save by Markstrom. Here's Pinelli. Fires a wrist shot and a save. Now to the middle. That's a big block. Bongiovanni gets the rebound. A second block by Norris. Markstrom gives it to Norris. Hands it off Pinelli. Across to Cizikas. A big shot and a save. Got the rebound. A second save by Joonas Korpisalo. And now the teams are dead even in shots. 14 all. And we're having a little difficulty trying to find the puck, which is not ideal. We don't know where it is. I thought I saw it. Yeah, that's not good. There's only 24 seconds left in the period, so it should just keep filming. The period's only taken 8 minutes. So it should just keep filming. Face-off won by the Railers. Pinelli has it along the near side wall. Sends it across to Cizikas. Winds up and fires in a block by Moore. Pinelli gets the rebound and a save by Joonas Korpisalo. Neither team has been clearly better than the other. Shots on goal are relatively even. Tippett to Moore. Sends it back Tippett. He'll control it. Tippett will fire in a save. Railers have it again. Cizikas will leave it for his goalie Markstrom. He'll play it out to Norris. Across Pinelli. He'll look. He'll shoot. And Korpisalo got a piece. And they're calling it not a shot on goal. They're saying it was going high. So that's going to bring the period to a close at 0-0. The exact polar opposite of what it was like the first time these two teams met. So we'll come back for the second period after this. Folks, instead of a track meet, we've got structure. Both teams are defending well. And unlike last time where we had about 18,000 in the building, it's a sellout. 19,717 back-to-back sellouts by the Railers. Markstrom, so far, and Joonas Korpisalo, both have played well, stopping all 15 shots. If you want a goal, you're going to have to earn it tonight. Let's face it off for the second period. Lumberjacks have it. Bongiovanni controlling across the Tippett. Back to Bongiovanni. He fires. A save by Jacob Markstrom. Bongiovanni has it. Now a shot denied. Another couple of saves by Markstrom. Oliver Moore had the latest chance. Markstrom just barely getting a piece. Face-off one into the corner. It's played around nicely to Tippett. He'll fire it up to Moore. He'll turn around and fire, and he scores! What a shot by Oliver Moore! He picked this corner and hit it perfectly. And the Lumberjacks lead 1-0. The icebreaker tonight comes from Oliver Moore. It's a crowd stunner. Minnesota finally finds the back of the net on their 18th shot. That was probably one of the better goals of the season. That was beautiful from Oliver Moore. He came to the near side, he made a move, and just wristed it perfectly, top right corner. If not top right, near it. That was a beautiful shot, picking his corner. Wow. 18 seconds into the period, Moore gives them the lead. Cizikas drops back. He'll fire on a save. Now here's Bongiovanni. He fires, stopped again. Minnesota putting some pressure on this period. Norris drops it back. Pinelli fires, and a save by Joonas Korpisalo. I'm going to be real. Korpisalo has been great all season long. He hasn't really had any terrible games. His worst game was giving up 4 to Montreal, like just recently, like last week. Norris has it and a save. They get the rebound. Pinelli having a little trouble with it. Pinelli sends it over to Cizikas. Now back to Pinelli. And he turned it over. One pass too many. Now Morris shot and a save. Now they go to the middle. Norris stopped. Rebound, missed the net. So they only get one shot on goal in that sequence. Bongiovanni leaves it for his goalie. They turned it over. Pinelli to the middle. Norris fires on a save. Both teams dead even in shots, but Minnesota leading on the scoreboard. Cizikas plays it out nicely to Norris. Now to Pinelli. It comes back to him. A shot. Oh, and a save. And he went out of bounds. We'll keep an eye on Pinelli throughout the night because that, oh boy, he is really banged up. That's got to hurt. So it's not great for Chicago that Pinelli is banged up. You really don't want to see that. They'll face it off along the far side with the Lumberjacks leading by 1. Face off 1. Tippett. Or excuse me, Bongiovanni sends it across to Tippett. Bounced off of him. Now Moore. To Bongiovanni. He'll fire on a save. He's kind of struggled lately at scoring, Bongiovanni. I think he has 1 goal in his last like 3 or 4 games. Tippett trying to find more with it. It keeps bouncing off of him. Bongiovanni fires on a save. Rebound, completely missed the net. Not even close. Owen Tippett fired it wide. Shots 22-21 with 3:24 to go in the second period. Face-off won by the Lumberjacks. Drop back pass. Tippett a shot and a save. And they're going to say it went out of bounds in Chicago's side of neutral ice. Face-off along the far side. 3:20 for the second. Pinelli up to Norris. Drop back Pinelli. Fires on. Stopped again. Across. Bongiovanni somehow got it through. And they're saying that one was going high, so not a shot on goal. I don't know how Bongiovanni got it through that traffic. Norris was very much out of position. Kind of off to his right. What? They didn't even touch the puck. Now they do. And it's turned over to the middle. Norris, back to Cizikas. Fires, save. Probably one too many passes that time. Tip it across. Bongiovanni stopped. Rebound blocked. Tippett has it along the near side. Gives it to Moore. Back to Tippett. Fires on a save, and it goes in behind the net. Korpisalo will go for it. Minnesota will reset structurally, leading by 1. Sends it up. Bongiovanni across Tippett. Back to Wyatt. Fires on a save. Minnesota has it again. Sustained pressure. Moore. Markstrom got a piece. And it's another turnover. To the middle. Moore. Fires another one, and this time a save is made and it wound up out of bounds. Sustained pressure by the Lumberjacks there. I'm pretty sure they got like 6 or 7 shots in a row. Kids at home, do with that what you will. About halfway through this game, Lumberjacks leading by 1. Cizikas taps it to Norris. Back Cizikas. He'll make a move and fire on a save. Rebound, Pinelli missed. Bongiovanni turns it over after a line battle. Norris fires, save by Korpisalo, and it bounced into the net. Not a goal. So far, the only goal on the board coming from Oliver Moore, the center. The center is much more of a defensive position in this sport, but they've been scoring a lot more lately, which is nice to see. A turnover. Bongiovanni, or Tippett plays it around to himself, and he tried to give it to his goalie, but he almost threw it in his own net. Bongiovanni to Moore. Still has it. Back to Bongiovanni. He'll fire, and that hit out of bounds. Completely missed the net. I'm not sure what that was. Minute 41 for the period. Chicago won the draw. Threw it away, though, to Tippett. Tippett up to Moore beautifully. He'll take the shot and a save. The rebound comes back. Bongiovanni has it. Controlling it, Korpisalo gave it off. Tippett shot, a save again. 2 shots on goal for the Lumberjacks and a turnover. To the middle. Tippett has it back. He shoots a save. Got the rebound. Never mind, it rolled away. The Railers keep it alive. And, oh, Norris a save. I'm pretty sure there was a pass on that. Yeah, they're saying there was. Bongiovanni blocked by his own guy. Tippett sends it across. Bongiovanni a save. 9 minutes into the game, Chicago still not on the scoreboard. Wyatt Bongiovanni has it. Across, Tippett. Along the near sideboards to the middle. Back. Fires on a save. Here's Pinelli. He'll look. He'll fire. Save again by Markstrom. Or by Korpisalo. Here's more. This time it's actually Markstrom making the save. I'll tell you what though, Minnesota's controlled this period. Right now, you know, they have 21 shots in the period to Chicago's 13. Face-off ends up out of bounds. 36-28 are the shots right now. 41 seconds left. It's still 1-0. And what do you know? That one went out of bounds too. Here we go. We're getting into this point of the game where all the face-offs go out of bounds. Oh, that one didn't. It stayed in. Chicago won the draw, though. Sends it back to Cizikas. Here's Norris. He gets back right side up. He'll look. He'll fire. Another save. Chicago having a hard time solving Jonas Korpisalo. Face-off won by the Railers. Drop back pass, Cizikas across. Pinelli fires, missed the net completely. Cizikas rebound. Korpisalo denies him this time. Tippett sends it across to Bongiovanni. Bongiovanni threw it away to Cizikas. Now to the middle, Norris. Back to Cizikas. Across to Pinelli. Back to Cizikas. He'll make a move. He'll shoot. Hit the post! We have not had a lot of post hits in this game. That was a close call. Man, oh man, Chicago just struggling to find the back of the net in this game. Face-off won by the Lumberjacks. Tippett sends it across. Bongiovanni fires a save. Chicago has enough time to get a pass, but they threw it away. They get one to the middle. Norris gave it away, and that's the end of the period. Through 2, Minnesota again in a low-scoring game. This time it's 1-0 through 2. We'll be back for the third period shortly, and they, for some reason, sounded the buzzer twice. We'll be back, guys. A huge third period coming up from United Center. Chicago, so far, has been held in check by Minnesota and Jonas Korpisalo. Every inch of ice has to be earned. A lot of slap shots, but so far a wrist shot has been the one thing that's beaten a goalie tonight, and it was from Oliver Moore. Here we go. We enter the third period. 1-0 is the score. Bongiovanni across to Tippett. He fires on a save. Got the rebound, a second save. Tippett out of the middle more. And it's a turnover. Norris will try his hand, but another stop. Bongiovanni settles it down. Tippett, it ends up with the goalie Korpisalo. Tippett has it. Now to the middle more. He'll look on a save. Rebound, another save. Man, Minnesota's really figuring it out here. And Bongiovanni missed the net wide. Sustained pressure once again. Tippett on a stop. Another rebound chance. Across to Bongiovanni. To the middle. Back to Bongiovanni. He shoots a save. They get another rebound. Tippett across to Bongiovanni. He fires on and he missed the net. And the Railers finally settle it down. Sent across to Pinelli. Pinelli back to Cizikas. He fires on. Korpisalo got a piece. We're a minute into the period. Moore deflected away by Norris. Pinelli sends it up to Norris. Back to Pinelli. He fires on a save. They get the rebound, send it across. Markstrom. Cizikas stopped. Here's Moore. To Bongiovanni. He left it for him. He fires on. And Markstrom said no. Minnesota now outshooting Chicago by 10 as they opened the period with 7 shots while Chicago has just 4. Pinelli Across Cizikas, it bounces to Norris. Cizikas sends it back across to Pinelli, another stop. And now Bongiovanni leaves it for Moore, or tried to leave it for him. He fires on, Markstrom caught it out of the air. Cizikas, drop back Pinelli. Cizikas will fire from distance and miss the net, and it wound up out of bounds. If you're the Railers, find the back of the net. Do not panic just yet. You were down twice to Toronto, and you managed to come back both times. Cizikas on top of the net and knocked down by Korpisalo. Tippett. Bongiovanni. Back to Tippett. Now to the middle, Moore. Fires a save. They get the rebound. Try again. A second save. More sustained pressure by the Lumberjacks. Bongiovanni across. Tippett denied again. Here is Norris. Drops it back Cizikas. He'll fire on a save. 3 minutes to go. Cizikas sends it across to Pinelli. It comes back to him. He tries again. A stop. Rebound. Score! We're tied at 1. The Railers finally crack the code. Francesco Pinelli had 3 goals last night and now another one tonight. We're tied at 1. What a shot by Pinelli, going far down. 2:48 to go. This is a completely different hockey game. Cizikas fires on a save. They get the rebound. Pinelli will try again. It's stopped. The Railers finally win some momentum. Pinelli has it. Gives it back to Norris. Makes a move. And Korpisalo said no, but then they turned it over. Norris will fire on a stop. Did you notice that momentum swing? Chicago with 7 shots on goal in a row. That was much needed. The United Center crowd has been waiting for that one all night. And we got a 1-1 hockey game. Sent across, a chance, hit the post! Tippett so close. Now Moore has it. He'll fire on an easy save. They get the rebound, a second save. Markstrom taps that one into the corner. Sent across beautifully to Cizikas. He whiffs on it. Goes back to Pinelli. He'll try again. And Korpisalo closed up the 5-hole. Sends it out to Bongiovanni. Now Moore. Gonna get it to Tippett, their superstar. He fires on a save. Now Minnesota has it again. Moore makes a move. Moore over the net. I'm not sure why they didn't shoot a little sooner there. Tippett probably should have, but he didn't. 1:58 to go. We got a tie game. Could Chicago be headed for overtime again for the second straight night? Tap to the middle. Norris, Cizikas, across Pinelli. He fires on a save. He got the rebound. Send it across. Norris fires on nothing. Chicago trying to sustain some pressure here. Markstrom sends it up to Norris. He still has it. Norris shot blocked. They have it back though. Cizikas. Pinelli has it. Across Cizikas. Fires on, and that one was going high. Now, I never commented on this, but those charcoal black jerseys are looking sweet. They'll be wearing them, I think, 2 more times for the rest of the season. 1:34 left in a tie game. Face-off won by the Lumberjacks. Tippett tapped it to Moore. He stopped. Rebound. No, it hit the post, I think. Cizikas across Pinelli. It ends up with Markstrom. Markstrom taps it to Cizikas. He'll fire on. Korpisalo made the stop. You think any goal could be the decider. Bongiovanni, oh! Hit the bar! And now Norris has it. Cizikas fires on and a save. Nearing a minute to go. Moore has it. Moore. Oh, he was a little indecisive with the puck and he turned it over. Norris fires on and a save. They'll give him a chance at redemption, but he stopped. In behind the net, Pinelli will take it there and just allow Chicago to reset a bit. 1-1 score. Next goal could be the decider. Cizikas won't get it there. Has it back. He'll try again and a second save by Jonas Korpisalo. Both sides over 50 shots. It hasn't been a track meet on the scoreboard, but there have been a lot of shots. 103 combined. And if we go overtime, we'll easily be over 120. Lumberjacks get the draw. Bongiovanni swings it to the middle. Moore! Big deflection by Norris. Pinelli sends it across. Turnover. Tip it to Moore. Save. They'll keep it alive. Railers have it. Cizikas to the middle. Norris fires. Big save by Jonas Korpisalo. The goaltending in this game has been spectacular. Both sides have struggled at finding the back of the net. They win the draw. Tip it. Sends it. Oh, it's on the line. It's won by the Railers. Bongiovanni shoots. Save. Chicago could hold to the last one if they want. And it looks like they're going to try it. Pinelli across Cizikas. Fires blocked by his own guy, and he went offside. A tough reality to face if you're Josh Norris. Cizikas' shot blocked by Norris, and it forced him offside. He doesn't love the call, but I think he's learned from last week, or from last night, to be smart. He got unsportsmanlike for arguing an offside. 2.1 on the clock. We are 2.1 from overtime. Face-off won by Minnesota. They need a pass, but they turned it over, and we are going to overtime. I think for the 4th time this season, the Lumberjacks are going there. And for the Railers, it's the 2nd game in a row that goes overtime. So we'll be back in just a second while we get everything reset. Another really awesome game. Chicago again going overtime. They're 1-0 in overtime games this season. Meanwhile, Minnesota, their 4th time in overtime, they are 0-2-1. Also, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning come through. However, it's fine. It was during the intermission, so not much of a worry there. We're just going to play. Minnesota, not a good record in overtime. We'll see if they can turn that around here tonight at United Center. Now again, you guys know the rules. It's 3 minutes of 3-on-3. It's always 3-on-3 here. If nobody scores, the game is over. So here we go. 3 minutes in overtime and the puck went in the net. And for some reason the clock didn't stop. They'll fix that. Luckily we didn't have to do a clock review this time. I saw what it was. 2:58. I think the clock operator just got a little bit excited. And that went out of bounds. So a very, very slow start to overtime. Nobody seems to know how to, preserve a play. So both sides will now reset structurally. Railers get the draw. Cizikas goes across. Pinelli, a save by Korpisalo. Railers have the puck. Tippett sends it across to Bongiovanni. He'll fire on a save and he goes offside. They'll touch up. They get the shot on goal, but Bongiovanni flew offside in the process. Just 15 seconds into overtime. Railers get the draw. Here's Norris. He'll shoot. Save. It goes into the corner. Pinelli will play it around to Cizikas. Cizikas goes to the middle. Norris. Back to Cizikas. Had the overtime winner last night, but not there. He had the OT winner in Toronto after about 2 minutes of playing in the overtime. Railers get another face-off. Norris missed the net. Rebound. Pinelli kind of weakly put it on. Korpisalo plays that up to Bongiovanni and a save. Puck went into the corner. He'll ring it around to Owen Tippett, their star. Oh, he gave it right to Norris. Dropped it back to Cizikas. Cizikas. Now to Norris. He'll look. He'll shoot again. Korpisalo got a piece. Dropped it back and they hit the side of the net. Tippett plays it out. They threw it away again. Shot on and a save. Puck wound up sitting on the line. It goes to the Railers on the line battle. Here is Norris. A stop. They got the rebound. Cizikas will fire and miss the net. And they're saying it went out of bounds in Toronto's side of neutral ice. So they'll, or not Toronto. Oh my God, I'm still thinking about last night. Minnesota. Face-off won by the Lumberjacks. Tippett a shot and an offside again. And they're saying minimal contact, no penalty. But they turn it over and can't attack. Minnesota goes offside for the 2nd time here in overtime. This time, again, completely incidental, happened on a shot. But that's going to happen. There's a save on Norris. Rebound. Pinelli. Oh, he missed over. Korpisalo got a piece of it. Little indecisive there. He's got it in behind. Minnesota will reset structurally. Halfway through overtime. It's played out. Bongiovanni sends it across to Tippett. He fires on a big save. And the puck went out of bounds. Or no, it's still inbounds. Okay, so the clock stopped inexplicably for some reason. And I don't know why they didn't just shoot there. Tippett has it. Plays it up to Moore. Drop back to Bongiovanni. Now Moore has it. He'll turn and fire and hit the bar. Got it back. Bongiovanni in a save. Down to about a minute left. Pinelli. Oh, he hit the post. Drop over to Cizikas. Pinelli. He'll try again. And again can't solve Korpisalo. Played up to Moore. Perfectly, and that took a deflection and went out of bounds. And they're going to run another couple seconds off to compensate for the clock being stopped with the puck behind the net. So they run those seconds off to compensate for that. 48 seconds left in overtime. Face-off won by the Lumberjacks. It goes across. Bongiovanni, big save by Markstrom. And we had a little bit of a wobble in the lights. And they correct those. My goodness. Will we have a winner? Or will we have a tie? It would be insane if Minnesota tied at 1-1 for the second time this season. This crowd is waiting anxiously to see what will happen. Korpisalo up to Moore. He has the one goal in the game. It came from this side of the ice. Now Bongiovanni's shot is blocked. They got one shot on goal in that sequence. This has to be the most evenly matched game of the season. The shots are dead even here in overtime. They were dead even at the end of the first period. 35 seconds left in the overtime. Tippett to Moore. Back to Tippett. He'll fire. Oh, no, he missed it twice. Now send it over Bongiovanni. And Markstrom got a piece. How did Tippett miss that puck twice? Pinelli plays it up to Norris. He fires, stopped. Rebound goes in behind the net. Pinelli will try, and it's blocked by his own teammate. That's unfortunate. Pretty sure that's the second time one of the wingers has been blocked by Josh Norris in the last 5 minutes. 19 seconds left in overtime. Time is getting short. Railers get the draw. Pinelli sends it across to Cizikas. Now to the middle, Norris. He'll fire, big block. Rebound, Pinelli has it. He'll look to shoot. It's up to Norris. 8 seconds left. He fires on. It's knocked away. Minnesota will have one more chance to win. Tip it across. Bongiovanni gets the shot. And it bounces in the net. But it's a deflection. And the goal does not count. And time had expired. So the game is over. Both goaltenders were so outstanding that neither team could solve the code in overtime. It's a tie for the second time for Minnesota. Korpisalo stopped 61 of 62. Markstrom stopped 62 of 63. Both goaltenders great. Both offenses lackadaisical. So Minnesota still winless in overtime this year. Chicago gets a very important point to stay in fourth. It's unfortunate for sure, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So that's the game. Final score is 1-1. Thanks for watching this one. That was a wild one.